afternoon. My name is Jessica Rippey, and I am here to present a speech from policy on hazard pay. I feel as if I am credible to give you this speech because of the sources I have studied over this time of the pandemic. I have studied these sources because I am an essential worker. I am a PCA myself, and a lot of others are essential workers, and I know they would like to know about hazard pay. So what is hazard pay? Why don't people receive hazard pay normally, and why we're not receiving it during this pandemic? Hazard pay is a pay that in sense that you are in some type of hazard, some shape or form, whether it's physically, emotionally, or medically. So with that being said, why don't we receive hazard pay during this pandemic? Me personally, I asked my supervisor, why aren't we receiving hazard pay? I put my life and my children's life at risk every day. She said because we work in a hazard zone every day anyway, so it's not necessary for us to receive hazard pay. Like I said, I'm a PCA, so how do I work in a hazard zone? I bathe, clean up, and assist. I do not do anything that's dealing with blood or any hazard material. Yes, I work with feces, but that's the worst of it all. So I asked her again, so you would put me to work for $9.50 an hour. Would you do it? Would you go in and out these clients' house and take this COVID-19 home to your child? No, you wouldn't, because if you would, we wouldn't be losing clients left and right. So I started this search of hazard pay, and why? Because I feel as if I should be receiving this hazard pay, and a lot of others. So in the federal government, it does not have a set wage for hazard pay. Hazard pay can be any pay that your job decides to give you, but it must be for a hazard reason. Yes, this pandemic is hazard, but it's not technically a hazard pay concern at this moment. They're trying to make it become a hazard pay concern because of all the people that are getting sick, trying to just do their job. But if we all stopped and did a strike against hazard pay because we're not receiving it, the country couldn't run. Wouldn't be no grocery stores, wouldn't be no doctor's office, wouldn't be nothing. So my question again, why are we receiving hazard pay? I have got down to the bottom. The reason why jobs don't want to give us hazard pay because that comes out of the money they make off of us. Say for instance, if you are a PCA and you have a Medicaid client, that Medicaid pays $18 an hour per client. And if they're paying you $10 already, they only making $8. So if they add an essential pay for hazard pay during this pandemic, say that was $5. That means you making $15 an hour, they only make $3. They feel like that their company cannot run off of just $3, which isn't fair because they're doing nothing. They're at home looking at us, making sure we do our job, and we're out in this pandemic and they're not. So I looked in it a little farther. So who really do receive hazard pays? And why isn't it government mandated that people receive hazard pay? A federal mandate that we do receive hazard pay during hazard situations. But they don't technically know what to call COVID-19, so they don't know whether it's a hazard situation or not, even though they tell us that it's hazard every day. But for us workers, it's not as hazard because they're opening up the economy full force. So they want us to go out and make the money, but and on the other hand, they telling us to protect ourselves and not to go out. But they're not meeting in the middle where we can make the money, where we can protect ourselves and still work and be able to afford certain things. Because of this pandemic, a lot of people don't have jobs. A lot of people wasn't able to work. Before this pandemic, a lot of people did not have insurance. A lot of people could not go to the doctor's office because they couldn't afford it. So with hazard pay, you could afford insurance. If you got sick, you could go to the doctor and get treated for COVID-19. or any other illness that came about because of this pandemic. So I feel as if the next time they vote in a law should be made of hazard pay. It should be a requirement that employees receive hazard pay during any crisis, whether it's a hurricane or it's another COVID-19 pandemic, because through it all, we're all at risk, health-wise, mentally, emotionally. It's a stressful thing that essential workers have to go through. Thank you.